What's going on, guys? This is All Elite Wrestling, and we are going to be covering WrestleMania. We got lots of picks, and by we, I mean myself and Dr. Doofenshmirtz over here. So we got to get this rolling. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania 35. Going to run through our picks. If you haven't seen our predictions before, just know that we tend to run long, but we're gonna try to get this done. We got 16 matches to go through. We're gonna start immediately. Do you want to kick this one off, or me?
Yep, let's go. We're gonna kick it off. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Gonna kick it off here. 16-match WrestleMania card. You all know when it goes down. We don't got to go through any of that stuff. So here we go. We're gonna kick it off with Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Of course, this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Everybody knows how this feud got going. Tag team champions, not tag team champions now. No longer friends. Heel versus face. Basic battle here. Shane McMahon getting his WrestleMania match. My pick, pretty simple. I didn't really take too much time on this. I picked The Miz. I just think that this is a big WrestleMania win that he needs. And I feel like it's a big WrestleMania win that he's going to get. Not much more to say about this match. I think it'll be good. I think it'll kick off the main card. And it should be very, very entertaining. Nonetheless, Shane McMahon always does a good job at Mania. And it's time for Miz to finally get his big WrestleMania moment. And hopefully he gets it at the expense of the best in the world, Shane McMahon, at WrestleMania. So picking The Miz. Joe, right to you.
Thanks, Kyle. Like you said, it should be very entertaining. It's one of those matches where you're not gonna see a 5-star match. I mean, if this was in the Tokyo Dome, it would be a 7-star match, but it's not. It's at MetLife Stadium, so it's not going to be a 5-star match, but it'll be entertaining. They'll fight all around, so it should be fun. We shouldn't have to complain about it, but yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you here. I'm going with The Miz. Like he said, big Mania win. I feel like this is a simple feud. It's been kind of entertaining. Just a basic heel versus face feud, and yeah, I think The Miz needs this one. Big Mania win over the best in the world. I mean, what's bigger than that? So, yeah, both going with The Miz here, and I will carry over to our next match we're talking about. We're kind of moving up the show a little bit early here. We're going to be talking about, predicting, the match Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle, and Angle's final match in WWE, and I assume his career, unless if Impact comes calling. So, yeah, I don't know what we could both really say about this one. I feel like we're both... I mean, you gotta go with Kurt Angle here, and I am. That's my pick, and I really don't know how to explain why. I don't see him losing in his final match ever. He's had a long career. If they send him out with a loss to end his career, I mean, shit. So there's really nothing else to be said. Should be a decent match. I know Corbin isn't the one that people want to see, but this one, considering it's Angle's last match, I don't think this will be a real, quick squash by any means. I think they'll send him out right, give him some time, and at the same time try to, make Corbin look good. Try to build for him, but I see Angle winning here. That's probably the easiest pick on the show. What say you, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nails all on the head there. I mean, Kurt Angle, this has been his retirement tour. I mean, he posted on Facebook and Twitter, this is not the retirement tour people really wanted, but he's happy that he's been able to do it healthy, sober, all that stuff. I mean, his match against Styles was cut short. He can't hang with Styles no more. His match against Mysterio didn't even happen. He just can't hang with Mysterio. It's just the way it is. Angle has just really lost a lot of what he had 10, 12, 14 years ago. But he has still been able to compete at a high level and be very, very entertaining for the crowd. And this is his final match. This is it. This is the end of the road. No more matches after this, at least not in the WWE ring, like you were saying. So I think that it is best for him to just win here. I'm obviously picking Kurt Angle, barring any swerves. I mean, I don't know if we're going to end up getting the John Cena match or if Corbin's not. I don't think anything's going to happen. I really don't. I just think that he's going to get a big win here. I think Corbin's going to do his best to win. I mean, maybe some outside interference from somebody. I mean, to help out Angle to win, something like that could happen, but I don't predict any swerves or anybody added to the match or taken out of the match. I think Kurt Angle wins, rides out into the sunset, takes a backstage role perhaps, maybe still stays on TV in some sort of aspect, we hope. But nonetheless, I predict that Kurt Angle will win his final match in WWE. So here we go. We're moving right into the card here. As Joe was saying, we're gonna pick more of the mid-card guys first, and then get into the undercard and then to the main card. So here's a match that many people are anticipating. It is Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. Of course, Roman Reigns' big return match at Mania. I mean, I don't believe he's had an official match, singles match, since his return from his cancer. So this is a pretty big deal. Drew McIntyre, we all know what he is in WWE. He is a young rising superstar, as Michael Cole said, right, Joe? So this young talent, Drew McIntyre, who's like 36, is facing Roman Reigns, who, of course, is returning here. This could be a big passing of the torch moment, I believe. I think that Roman could put over Drew here, but at the end of the day, I think Drew McIntyre has gotten enough big wins, and he's gotten enough momentum here to actually be able to take a loss here to Roman Reigns. So I'm going to pick Roman Reigns. I was actually back and forth on this one. I really thought that this could go two ways. I feel like Roman could just come in, look really, really strong as usual, squash Drew, or Drew could pick up a surprise win. I mean, of course, he did beat Dean Ambrose back-to-back weeks, but Ambrose is leaving. He's not at WrestleMania, so this is a whole different story. I think Roman does win here. Moves on to bigger things after Mania. Drew McIntyre, he's an interesting story. I mean, what are they going to do? He was supposed to get pushed late last year, never really did. Kind of picked up that momentum a little bit late, into this year, but I still don't believe Drew McIntyre has that faith yet to actually beat a guy like Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So I'm going to pick Roman here. I think this match will surprise people. I think this match might be one of Roman's best at WrestleMania, really. I mean, just looking at his past Mania matches, I think this could shockingly be his best singles match at Mania and shockingly be his best singles match on pay-per-view in a long time. So, pick him Reigns here. Joe, go ahead. This is a pretty good match. I think it will be. I think this is a possible show stealer.
Really? I mean, I'm not, I'm kind of with you on that. I think this one could be a surprisingly good match, and when I say surprisingly, I don't mean any real disrespect to Reigns or disrespect to McIntyre. I mean, it could be. I don't know about stealing the show, but I mean, you never know. But it should be an all right match. And you hear a crowd, man, or New Jersey, wherever they are, in Pittsburgh, I'm hoping that they don't, really shit all over Reigns here. I think it's an interesting story. I think that bringing in real life stuff here and kind of using that to kind of sell this match a little bit, where you have the heel McIntyre kind of getting personal. I kind of like that stuff. I think it works, and it's been an alright storyline, but overall, I am going to have to agree with you here. I'm going to pick Roman Reigns. I think it'll be that big win, and it'll be a big win that, or I should say a match that McIntyre can lose that really won't hurt him. It won't hurt him going forward in the future. It won't bury him at all, because I think that he still is a strong character. He still is a strong heel, and I don't think it's anything that'll kind of, I don't know how to word it, make him, I don't know, seem less legitimate, I guess, is what I'm going for. So yeah, I'm going to go with Reigns here. That's at least how I'd book it, and yeah, should be an alright match. And speaking of, I know you were saying, this could be a show stealer. I think this next match will be a show stealer. I think it'll be match of the night. You got the unnamed women's battle royal. I guess you could call it the Andrea the Giant battle royal or something. Put a wig on Andre the Giant. And yeah, we got the women's battle royal. This is the I meant to do research on this one. This is the second time, only the second time they've done it, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, it was last year at New Orleans where this was another thing I was rusty on remembering. Was it Naomi that won last year?
Yeah.
It was. Correctamundo, thanks, Squirt. Second time happening. Of course, yeah, last year Naomi winning. Not, this one in the Andre the Giant Memorial Day Classic Battle Royal. Both of them are kind of just me, just kind of going, not putting much thought into the pick. It's kind of more just a quick guess, I guess. And in this one, yeah, it's more of a guess, and at least how I'd book it once again would be Asuka getting the win here. It's no surprise that lately, there's been a lot of criticism on how she's been booked, and losing her title and not being on TV when she had the title, and not really being in any real significant feuds since the one with Becky Lynch. I think this is, it's not the biggest match, but I still think it's a win that will help her out a little bit. She has lost a lot of momentum since she lost the streak that she had last year to Charlotte. So I think this will be a good bounce back win. Yeah, I'm going with Asuka, and we're picking for these our main pick and a surprise pick or two. For this one, I don't really have a big surprise pick other than the one that I picked like third to win at the Royal Rumble, which is Mandy Rose. I don't know why I keep picking her as a surprise pick. I just think it would be a little bit of a pleasant surprise that would get, it would get a lot of heat, especially if she were to eliminate Asuka last, which, I hope doesn't happen. But I'm going with Asuka here. I've spent way too long talking about the Mae Young classic here, so Kyle, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, women's battle royal, Under the Giant battle royal. What are these matches for? It's to get people on the card. They're both going to be on the pre-show, but I really think that this could be a good idea to put these matches on the pre-show for a casual fan who may not be interested in watching WrestleMania at first, but maybe they see the battle royal with a bunch of people in it and might get fans excited. I don't know. I think it might be a positive, but yeah, women's battle royal right now we have 10, 12 people involved. We're not too sure if there's going to be more participants or not, and I think my pick is actually, I don't know if she's confirmed or not, but we have seen her on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, and she's also been wrestling on main event tapings. But she has come out on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live many, many times over the past several weeks and months, and she had arguably the best performance among any woman in the Royal Rumble. That is my pick for the Women's Battle Royal to launch her career and to get her onto the main roster, and that is, of course, Lacey Evans to win the Women's Battle Royal. Don't know if she's confirmed for the match, assuming that she will be in it. I think that Lacey Evans has so much potential in WWE. Saw her wrestle in a dark match Tuesday night and Monday night. Actually, back-to-back nights she wrestled. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, I think Lacey has a lot of charisma. I think that she cuts a good promo. I think that she has a great entrance. I think that everything about her, Vince McMahon especially likes, and I think that the back really likes her a lot as well. So going with Lacey Evans here. For a surprise, I don't really know. I don't really have anybody else. I will throw out Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. I think that their feud will finally come full circle here. They've been rumored to break up for months. I mean, that to either to turn Sonya face, probably Mandy would stay the heel. So that's really it. I mean, Asuka, I like your pick there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know where
didn't
they're
even,
going with her.
I don't mean to interrupt, but like, I didn't even think of Lacey Evans, and I think that you might be right with that. I just wanted to throw that in there. I know we don't normally interrupt, but I completely didn't think of her, and I think you've got it. I'm not changing my pick, but I think you got it there.
So, but yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with Asuka, really. I mean, I think that's a good pick, but I don't know if she's necessarily going to be like, I don't know if she's in the good graces of WWE right now. I just don't know. So, but yeah, that's my picks. Let's move right along here, and here's a very, very, very big match on the card. Not a show stealer, as I've been using that word many times in this video, but this is, of course, our first championship match that we're predicting, and that is the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, the Intercontinental Champion is the almighty, the big man, Leo's man, Bobby Lashley against the Demon Finn Balor, and that is what's selling this match. I mean, of course, Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor, they have been feuding for I don't know how long, since after WrestleMania, since after Royal Rumble. Of course, after Finn Balor lost the Universal Championship match to Lesnar, he immediately went back into the Intercontinental title picture. And then, of course, he's been feuding with Lashley for months. We know what's going on there. If this was just Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley, regular Finn Balor, this is a crap match. I mean, it is. To have the Demon finally rise at WrestleMania to get his main entrance at Mania as the Demon, well anticipated, well overdue. This is perfect. With all that being said, I'm picking him. Picking Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship, of course. I think that he's going to come out. I don't think he's going to flat out dominate like he did Corbin at SummerSlam last year, but I do think that he's going to come in, perform well, beat Lashley, win the Intercontinental title for the second time, and I think this could be a very, very big year for Finn Balor. It has he's probably already accomplished more in 2018 than he did in any of his full years previously on the main roster. I mean, 2019, God.
Let me tell you something, man. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I hear you talking about Demon Finn Balor. And let me tell you something about this guy, man. I don't know where the Demon King, they're calling him, I don't know where he comes from, but he isn't. I've already lost it. Although that wasn't me, that was Booker that just interrupted. Apologize. Continue.
But, yeah, no change. I mean, Finn Balor's my pick there. Just, for all the reasons I said, finally the Demon appears at Mania. We've been waiting for that for years, so several years. So you can go ahead and continue.
Yeah, apologize for that interruption. He just kind of ran in here and took the headset and ran. Alright. I like your pick. I really do. Picking Balor is kind of logical. But, I mean, we're talking about the almighty Bobby Lashley. The almighty Bobby... Okay, I'll stop messing around here. I am agreeing with you. I'm going with Finn Balor, or whoever he is. But, joking aside, I do... like you said, the selling point really is that the Demon King, which I hate that nickname, but Demon Balor will be there, and that is the selling point, really. Should be a decent match, but yeah, I'm picking Balor to go over here, and something I've mentioned to Kyle, a lot is that I really don't think they should have gotten rid of, Demon Balor coming out there on pay-per-views. At least have it be every other pay-per-view, just kind of not as rare as it is now, because that was a huge mark for Demon Balor back in his NXT days. But I just think
let me interrupt. I think they're just making it like this just to keep it fresh, though. You know what I mean? I don't think that they should keep it going like at every pay-per-view just because we have pay-per-views so often. I just think that him coming out as the Demon every, 2 or 3 times a year people are excited for it. He could face anybody. And people could legitimately be. I think that they should make it a surprise. I don't think that they should even announce it.
They did the surprise at SummerSlam last year for that Corbin match that nobody was really looking forward to, and it was a cool moment. So I see what you're saying, but I don't think it should be something they do every pay-per-view. I get,
But the promos are cool too. You know what I mean? The whole how he promos as the Demon.
Yeah, it seems like it actually does seem like a different, a different guy, different Demon.
It is.
It is. You've never seen them in the same room. I don't know what I meant by that, but yeah, I don't think it should be every pay-per-view, but it is cool to see. And even though they had the worst Titantron interruption with Balor this past Monday that you were there for, where he stuck out his tongue and made a Ultimate Warrior sound or something. But I will continue on here. Let's move on from that 5-star match and move on to this.
Did you make your pick?
Yeah, I picked Balor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, write that down. Yeah, we're moving on here. This is only match number 6, and we are, we've been going for a little bit. We got a match that I'm looking forward to. This is the one that I think could steal the show. You know what I'm saying? It is Randy Orton versus the phenomenal AJ Lee. And what should be... Alright, I won't disrespect AJ Styles. Take your pills, Kyle.
Hurry.
In this one, I'm picking Styles. No real reason. I just think it's kind of... Even though they're both kind of up there in age, and, this match has been about, both of them being around, the same time, and, Orton being in WWE, Styles not. I still think that Styles is kind of looked at as the younger guy, the underdog, so I just think that, he gets the win here. And I think he kind of needs it. His career has been going down a little bit, since he lost the title back in November. So I think he needs this big win here, and I'm going with Styles.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that this match is extremely anticipated. I think that this match will be extremely good. And I think that these two, like you were saying, these two came up through the ranks together while not together. They both started around the same time. While Orton was winning WWE Championships and World Heavyweight Championships, AJ Styles was actually winning TNA Championships and X Division Championships down there. And these two guys, they just match each other in every aspect. They're two completely different wrestlers in the ring, but they are two completely different wrestlers on the microphones, but they are similar in so many ways. Both around the same age. They have both come into this business the similar ways. Of course, Orton's a third-generation superstar. Styles is not, but just what these two have done over the past 15 years is just amazing. And I believe that this feud so far is very brief, even though it kind of was teased, a month or two ago. But in the promos recently and in the in-ring altercations, I think that these two have brought out the best in each other. I think that we are possibly seeing the best AJ Styles we have seen since his, very, very early run in WWE, the first couple months. I think that we might be seeing the best Randy Orton that we've seen in a very, very long time as well. Just the promos that they're doing, the in-ring performances that they're putting up with each other, just the brawls. I think that these two depending where that it is in the card, could be a show stealer. But at the end of the day, I think Styles is the obvious pick here. He needs to win more, and I do still think he's the underdog just because when he came into WWE in 2016, Orton's been the guy here. So for Styles to get a big win over somebody with the magnitude of Orton would just be big for his career and could possibly move him over to Raw, which has been rumored. And not too sure where Orton's going to go after this. I don't know if this feud will continue after WrestleMania, but I think Styles is the easier, just the more safer pick here. I mean, don't put it past them to have Orton win. I could see that happen as well. He's defeated other people at Mania in the past that I didn't think he would. So
yeah, and I just before we move on, I just want to add a quick comment. I won't take it long. I'll just something I meant to say also was, you know, a lot of feuds end at WrestleMania. I think this is one that could continue past WrestleMania. Most of the time feuds end. It kind of starts a new season the next day, pretty much. But I think that this feud kind of continues. I think that it's been brief, like you said, but I think it's been money. And
this is also a feud that doesn't need a championship. I feel like these two have big enough names to where this doesn't have to be over the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
This is over a lot more, which what they're both trying to prove to each other. Styles is trying to prove that, hey, I belong, with you. I belong to be mentioned in the same breath as you when talking about the greatest of all time. Well, Orton still believes that Styles is nowhere near his level. So
yeah. And
this doesn't necessarily need a championship. It would be great, but I mean, it's kind of crazy that Orton and Styles are facing each other at Mania and it's not for the WWE Championship. So,
yeah.
But this could be one that could just be beginning because this is their first match together at a pay-per-view event that I can at least remember.
Yeah, and
I don't believe they've faced each other on pay-per-view before. So.
Yeah, I don't think so. And you said that Orton doesn't. The feud is about Orton not thinking Styles says level. But speaking of levels, let's talk about the Neville level. You can start this one off. We got the Cruiserweight title.
Yes, we do.
Carry us through this match. We got current champion Buddy Murphy taking on Neville. Go ahead and predict this one.
More jokes here. Okay, so of course we do have Buddy Murphy, the Cruiserweight champion, taking on Tony Nese, who I believe Joe believes resembles Neville, and they may be the same person. Of course, they're not.
I don't know.
Moving on.
Who that is.
Of course, Tony Nese won a tournament here. That seems to be the way that they've been doing it on 205 Live the past couple of years. Big-time tournaments. Because it's safe to say 205 Live is only going to get one WrestleMania match. Likely on the pre-show, which I really feel like they should be on the main card at pay-per-views. I mean, if they really want people to believe in 205 Live and to get them on a higher level and to make people think, hey, this is actually a show worth watching, it should be on the main card of the biggest pay-per-view of the year. But it'll likely be on the pre-show. I think it's already been announced for the pre-show. But at the end of the day, I'm picking Buddy Murphy. This wasn't really too hard to sign. Murphy has been the top heel on 205 Live for the past 6 months or so, ever since he won the title in Australia. Tony Nese has really come into his own. He was originally a heel, just turned face for this feud. Don't know how long that face run will last. I don't think Tony Nese is that great necessarily, but I do think he was a pretty good pick here to face Murphy just because of their history, good friends for the past few months. So friends turned enemies. I think it's a perfect 50-50 match. Heel versus face, typical. And it's not going to be bad. I don't think it's going to get the time that it deserves, of course. But I could see it possibly being similar to Alexander versus Ali from a year ago. So we'll see. But Murphy's the pick. I think that's not an obvious one, but I think that safe bet, just having him retain here would be cool. So going with Buddy Murphy. Joe, on to you.
Yeah, you were saying, I liked your reasoning there, going with Murphy, but the entire time, I was just very confused, I don't know who you're talking about, but has he been like a replacement for Neville? Because I haven't seen anything on it. Anyway, I'm just gonna assume that you were joking the whole time. Yeah, we got Buddy Murphy, who's been champion, like you said, since October when he won in Australia at Super Show. And yeah, he's defending here against Neville, who, I mean, I'm amazed. I don't know what kind of deal he has
Just make the pick.
to be working in both WWE and be signed
we're on our match number 7. We still have 9 to pick, and we're on the cruiserweight match. So
I know.
Make your selection.
I know. I'm working towards it. I'm sorry. I just want to talk about Neville for a second. How he's working for WWE.
We're talking about the match, who you want to pick, so we can move on to the next match.
Would you let me finish? As I was saying, let me just start over. Yeah, you got Buddy now. Yeah, Neville working both WWE and AEW. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. I will hurry this up. I apologize, but I am going with Neville here to win the cruiserweight title. And I gotta wonder if he will take that title to Double or Nothing next month. We shall see. But yeah, I'm going.
Okay, so I'll kick off this next one. We have, of course, the United States Championship match. We have Samoa Joe defending, hopefully, against Rey Mysterio. Now, of course, the way this match went, Samoa Joe won the championship. Rey Mysterio, he was the top selection among mid-carders on SmackDown to get the match. This match really has not had that much development to it besides Rey Mysterio and his son, Dominic, or Eddie Guerrero's son, some may say, doing backstage interviews. Samoa Joe, he's looked pretty strong the past few weeks. He faced Kurt Angle, lost, but he did get a big win against Ali this week to further that momentum. And, of course, the reason I said this match might happen is because, of course, Rey Mysterio did suffer an injury on Monday Night Raw against Baron Corbin, but we are going to assume at the making of this video that Rey Mysterio is cleared 100% ready to go for Mania. If not, just ignore this prediction. And maybe Samoa Joe will face somebody else or just get thrown into the Battle Royal or whatever. But at the end of the day, this was a back-and-forth pick for me. I think they can do a couple different things here. I think Samoa Joe could get a big win against Rey Mysterio on the grandest stage of them all to continue his United States Championship reign, or Rey Mysterio could get a long overdue championship run in the WWE since his return. But I think the first pick sounds a bit more just logical to me. I think Samoa Joe getting a big win here would make the most sense. Now, I don't know if his son was originally supposed to get involved or not, so this could be similar to the Styles Orton scenario where this feud is just beginning rather than ending. So at the end of the day, I think Samoa Joe will somehow sneak a win in. I don't know if Rey Mysterio will even compete, so I'm not 100% sure with this. But if Monday never happened and the injury never happened, I'm still picking Samoa Joe to win via submission. So Samoa Joe's the pick. And now, Joe, hopefully your mind is more clear for this selection. Here you go. Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio.
I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. I will make this quicker than the last one. I just want to talk about Neville for a little bit, but yeah, I liked your pick there, and they've had another brief feud we're talking about here, where yeah, like you said, we've seen an appearance by Dominic, and I wanted to point out, something about that. You said that you think that he maybe could have been involved or was planned to, but first of all, I don't think that's Dominic. He doesn't look like him.
With an actor.
Yeah, since we last saw Dominic, he doesn't look like him at all. I mean, Dominic was smaller. This is like a big adult. Like, I don't know what happened, but anyways, yeah, like you said, Mysterio, we don't even know if he's competing or not, but I will agree with you. Samoa, I think, will get the big win, and I really don't have anything else to say about it. So, Samoa, getting the win.
Go ahead.
Alright, yeah. Can I this time take it over? Or?
Yep, yes you can. Triple H and Batista, go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, we got a rematch from, WrestleMania 21, which I was just talking to Kyle about, how I didn't even know this match happened until recently. And Yeah, this feud, man, has been built really since SmackDown 1000, which you were at because, you go to every WWE show. Um, yeah, it really has been built. The seed was planted there, been carrying over the last few months or month or so. With Ric Flair, it's been an alright feud. I think that it's one of those feuds where you don't need really strong promos. You don't need much build up or one of them squashing other guys leading up to it. You don't need that. They're two established big names in the business. And another thing, selling point is if Triple H loses, his in-ring career's done, which is it's huge. And honestly, in this match, I am going with Batista to win. And end Triple H's in-ring career. And the reasoning, I think that Triple H's career has been, he's been only wrestling every now and then, and it usually is for these big name matches. And I think that with him going in the Hall of Fame Saturday with DX, I think it'll kind of be his last. I don't know. I just see him ending his career there after getting in the Hall of Fame. Sort of like, Ric Flair, who then went on to compete for some indie company. But, I see Batista winning here. It's kind of weird picking Batista because you think Triple H will get the satisfying victory, take down the sellout Hollywood guy, but I'm going with Batista here. I think it'll be a good way to end Triple H's career with somebody that, we've seen him on screen with for a long time. Who are you going with?
Yeah, Joe. I think that you nailed a lot on. You nailed a lot there.
Yeah.
This match is 14 years later. It is 14 years in the making from happening again. We saw it at WrestleMania 21 World Heavyweight Championship. It was Batista's first world title win against Triple H. Triple H was a well-established heel in the business at that point. Batista, despite being over 30 years old, was still an up-and-comer in the business at that time. And, it's a completely different match here. The roles are reversed. Batista comes back as a heel. Triple H is still a face. He had not switched from a face or heel ever before, so this is rare. But these are two superstars who, like you said, you see Batista versus Triple H, you're watching this match. It don't matter what the build has been. This is a match that I think at some points is selling WrestleMania. You got Batista back in it. His first match in, it's probably been, 5 years now? I think his last match was at Payback in 14, so this is his first singles match in probably, I think, 9 years, since 2010. I don't think he had he probably had a couple brief singles matches in his original return, but other than that, Batista really has not wrestled all that much, so that's very interesting. And you have 2 or 3 scenarios here. I think that you hit the first one on the head. Triple H ends his career at Mania. This is not a passing of the torch moment to Batista, but this is a way for Triple H to go. But I'm going to disagree with you here. I think that Triple H wins. I think that he finally gets his win over Batista, which I don't think Batista needs to win here. I don't think either guy needs to win. I don't think this match needs to happen. It's cool and all. It's a nice WrestleMania seller, but you never need this feud need to happen. These guys were just friends at SmackDown 1000. They've been friends forever. It's not like they're... But I guess there's still grudges there, as the feud has said. So, but at the end of the day, I think Triple H wins. I don't think that he will necessarily end his career against Batista. I think that he will end it more or less against a more up-and-coming talent. I think maybe somebody I don't know, I can't even think of a name. But, yeah, I don't think that Triple H loses here. I think he's just going to come in and get the win. I think it should be entertaining for being 2 older superstars, both 50 years old or whatever. But it's a no-holds-barred match, and it should be very entertaining. So that is my selection there of Triple H. I think the first one that we actually disagreed on besides the Women's Battle Royal. So
yeah. Before you continue, I want to point out really quick, small detail about the no holds barred match. They had said on WWE.com this was a no holds barred match, and I looked into it. It turns out the loser of this match will be forced to watch the movie No Holds Barred, starring Hulk Hogan. Continue with the next match, Kyle.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to enjoy that movie very much. Whoever does lose, it should be a very good WrestleMania match. But no jokes aside, we of course have the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match. Of course, this is only the third time, I believe, the Women's Tag Team Championship will be involved in a match, which is really, really cool. And it's going to be on the grand stage of them all. It's, of course, going to be Bayley and Sasha Banks defending their championships against Natalya and the returning Beth Phoenix, the Iconics, and, of course, Nia Jax and Tamina. And this match is good. It has been well booked, I believe, overall. Bayley and Banks, they, of course, have been feuding with Nia Jax and Tamina. Natalya kind of got involved, bringing Beth Phoenix back into the fray. And, of course, SmackDown, they got to have some representation as well with the Iconics. I thought the Iconics cut a very, very nice promo Tuesday. I thought that it was a very entertaining 8-women tag match on Monday. I think that this feud has actually gotten... I mean, if you want to criticize WWE for whatever, I think that you can't for this feud. I think this feud has actually been booked very, very well for what it's worth. So, at the end of the day, I got to make a pick here. Who do I really think is going to win? Do I think that Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to walk out as as women's tag team champions and continue to have a lengthy reign that, of course, lasts the Elimination Chamber, or do I expect a fresh tag team to come in and win? And I'm going to go with the team that I actually picked to originally win the Women's Tag Team Championships when they were first brought into WWE. I'm going to go with the Iconics of SmackDown Live to come away with a big win here. And there's one reason for that. I believe that SmackDown should be viewed as an equal show when it comes to the women. I believe that to get the tag titles over to SmackDown Live, which would be very, very big for that brand. I think that the Iconics have deserved it for a very, very long time. I think that what they have done in the women's tag, I think that they're the only real tag team in the women's division. I mean, it's true. So, it's damn true, some people might say. I like the Iconics. I just really think they're entertaining. I really think that they do a very, very good job as workers. So I think that they're going to get a good WrestleMania moment here. And there you go. So nothing more to say about that, Joe. You can go ahead and make your pick.
Yeah, I like your pick. I think I will disagree with you. I'll get right to it because you set it up good. I'm going to disagree with you here. As much as I want the Iconics to win the match here, because I really do see them as future tag team champions. I'm a big fan of their work. But in this case, this one was kind of a guess, but I'm going with Banks and Bayley here to get the big win over 3 other legitimate teams, like you said, the Iconics, Natalya, and returning Beth Phoenix, and of course Nia Jax and Jimmy Snuka. So, I think it'll be a big win for Boston Hug Connection. But yeah, like I said, I can see all of these teams winning. This one was kind of a guess, though. I just think it would be a big, legitimate win to take down 3 other teams. But I would like to see, the belts change sooner rather than later, especially to the Iconics. But we got to move on here. We still got...
Your official pick is Banks and Bayley retaining, correct?
Correctamundo.
Alright, let's move on to some more tag team action.
Yeah, more exciting tag team action. I mean, if you like tag team wrestling, multi-man matches, or woman matches, this is the show for you. Up next, we got The Revival, the Raw Tag Team Champions, because, well, whatever. Raw Tag Team Champions taking on Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. But, this was just announced today that we're recording this, and we don't need to talk about this one, I don't think. I'm going with the Revival here. I don't think Hawkins and Ryder will be winning titles, especially on short notice like this. It would be ridiculous, and, it would be bleh. But, yeah, I'm going with the Revival here.
Right, yeah, like you said, Joe, this was a match that was just put together today because, of course, Kurt Hawkins and Ryder actually approached the Revival backstage after Monday Night Raw. There was a segment online challenging them, and that was when the seeds were planted. So fans can be bitches. Sorry. People can whine, oh, why wasn't another Raw tag team given this opportunity, blah, 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 blah. But it's a fresh tag team. Hawkins and Ryder, people beg for them to get back together for years. They're back together. Kurt Hawkins is going to break the streak at Mania, break the losing streak. I think that Hawkins and Ryder are going to get the win here. Now, this could be a one-day reign, just like how Ryder won the Intercontinental title at Mania a few years ago, lost it the next night. But I think that Ryder and Hawkins are going to win. There's no reason this match was made for them to just lose. Revival are fine and all. They've had the titles. They haven't really even had a bad reign. They've been on Raw every week. They've been defending the championships. They've got good wins. Yeah, they've lost a couple times here and there, but what champion doesn't? So, why not? Why not have fun with it and make an outside-the-box prediction for this match? Hell with it. The Edgeheads are going to win. All right. Moving on now, of course, to the co-main event. Never mind. We're moving on to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, we know what this is, guys. This is a Battle Royal with mostly the undercard, a couple mid-carders, and a big name. That big name this year is Braun Strowman and his disastrous feud with Michael Che and Colin Jost of Saturday Night Live, which I've never even heard of those two guys before 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. But apparently this is the road that the road of WrestleMania that Braun Strowman has going for him this year. Whatever. I guess WWE doesn't have faith in him. So, but at the end of the day, I don't think this is going to be about them three. I think that it will be very, very brief. I expect Strowman to probably just eliminate them, or what I could possibly think. I haven't even read anything about this match, but one thing I think that could happen is maybe they could announce some sort of bodyguard to come in and eliminate Strowman and start a feud. I've heard Lars Sullivan come up. I've heard Luke Harper come up. I've heard a couple names come up that, well, I haven't heard, but a couple names that could return at the Battle Royal that I think that would blend into. But nonetheless, I'm not picking any of those people that I just mentioned. My pick at the end of the day is, Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you because I don't know. So, go ahead.
Oh, well. This one was really just throwing a name out there when I put this one down, and I'm going with Andrade, Cien Almas, to get the win here in the Andrade Battle Royal, here at Wrestle Kingdom 70. And, I think it'll be a big career-lifting win. This isn't a huge match, like I said, with the women's one. But with a guy like Andrade, I think a win here would be big. Get that trophy, get his name on the trophy. Have him fold his arms like Andre. I think that would be great. But, my second pick here, or surprise pick, whatever you call it. Another name I could see winning is Ali. I hate calling him that, but Ali, not Muhammad. It's just Ali. And if not those two, Otis. Do you have your pick?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It took me a minute just because I wasn't really too sure who was exactly in this match. I know a lot of, like I was saying, the undercard and the card. But big issue with this type of matchup is, for the past couple years, or really ever since the Battle Royal inception, they have not been able to really use the winner for feel like there should be some sort of prize for the winner, whether it's a championship match or a number one contenders match or just something, but that's a whole different story. But at the end of the day, I had EC3 here as my pick. I just think that much like the Lacey Evans pick previously, that these NXT people that have been called up, like Lacey and EC3 and Lars, have not really been on TV all that much. They've just been working on dark matches and main things. But yeah, he's my pick. I don't really have another one, so that's really all I got. You can go ahead and move on to the next match.
All right, before I do, I want to point out to you that during that pick, I was having to mess with my volume here because I don't know if something's happening with your sound on your end. Is your phone dying or something? I don't know. Just while I make my pick here, I don't know. I don't know if you weren't talking. Just wanted to point that. All right. Next we got big match. We got the Universal title match. You got Brock Lesnar defending against the Architect, Seth Rollins. Now, this has really been a rumored match since before the Royal Rumble even happened, before Rollins won. And I think it's a match people have wanted to see. The last time these two went one-on-one, it really got cut short because, The Undertaker came back at Battleground. And, this will probably be the first legitimate one-on-one match they've had. If I'm wrong on that, correct me. But I think this has some history to it. Of course, WrestleMania 31, but anyway, a lot of people going with Rollins here. But I'm going with Brock Lesnar. It's no secret, if you know me, that I have never been a Brock Lesnar fan, really. But regardless, the way I'd book it is Rollins winning, but I just, for reasons I'll explain maybe later in this video, I'm going with Lesnar here to take it into, honestly, a big reason I'm picking him is because they might want him to defend that championship in Saudi Arabia coming up. I think they're going in May or something this year.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that should be a good all-day event. But yeah, this one was kind of a toss-up, but I'm just going to go with Lesnar here for reasons that I will go into later, like I said. But the thing about Lesnar, I want to point out one more thing. Lesnar, I mean, he's hungry. He doesn't want no bread. He doesn't want no water. Just meat. Now, take it away with your pick, Kyle.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I heard what you were saying there about Brock, and it's an interesting one because, you have these two guys going at it, and Rollins has just absolutely been on the tear the past, couple years, ever really since his return from injury and since his face run. It actually started off very, very dull, but he has just come into his own. He has been the top star of WWE consistently, and I don't really want to talk about too much what I think will happen after this match because we're talking about WrestleMania. So I have Rollins circled here, and I'm not going to change that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to stick with my gut here. I'm going to stick with the underdog here, and I think that Rollins can finally have his big moment here. I mean, I think that just every day it gets more and less likely. I mean, I know a lot of the fans want it to happen. I know a lot of the just overall, just everybody wants it to happen. But I just don't believe, I don't know, they let Roman Reigns go at it with him so many times without winning it until the final time. Why is Rollins any different? That's just the unfortunate way to look at it, but I'm still going with Rollins. This is more or less a pick where I am going to go with my favorite more or less my mind. But you never know. It could still happen. I mean, it's not like a long shot. So that is my pick, Seth Rollins. And Joe, you can continue to start off the matches. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Next up, we got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and I know we're kind of bringing it down from a big championship match to maybe one that people are overlooking here. But I think the main story here is you got, the Usos defending against three other teams, one of them being Ricochet and Aleister Black. These two young NXT upstarts. And, I'll make it kind of brief here. I'm going with Ricochet and Black to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I think it'll be a fresh title change. Of course, we got, Black and Ricochet are also going for the NXT titles at TakeOver this weekend. Which, I don't know if we're doing a video on it or not, but either way, I'm just going to give it away. I don't have them winning against the War Raiders. But I think they will, win the titles here, and it'll complete their call-up, and they will officially be up on the main roster with the tag team titles. So yeah, I think it should be an alright match. I'm not a big fan of four-way matches, especially tag team ones, but it should be okay. It should be fast-paced, and it should be alright. And yeah, do you have your pick?
Yeah, but yeah, I think that you are pretty much correct there. I think that this is a two tag team race, really, between the Usos and Aleister Black and Ricochet. I mean, no disrespect, really, to the other teams, but, I mean, the Bar, we've seen them win the tag team championships countless times. They're a bit directionless right now. They're just kind of heels on SmackDown. They're not really going anywhere. Nakamura and Rusev are just kind of thrown together. I am glad both of them are on the card, though. That really actually makes me happy just to see them two still in the main card, still in a championship match at Mania. I'm glad they just weren't thrown in the Battle Royal. So, but I think that this match is between the two teams, and I have Usos winning. I think that they will continue to be the dominant tag team in WWE until somebody else has something to say about it. And I do agree with you I do predict that this will be the way that Aleister Black and Ricochet come up to the main roster, but could this possibly be the way that they come up to the main roster and then split up? Will they continue to be a tag team, or will they possibly break up at some point? Will they realize, hey, we've had countless opportunities at both the Raw and SmackDown tag titles. We haven't won them yet, or could they just go ahead and win it at Mania? So, but at the end of the day, I do have the Usos picking up the win here and retaining. I think that some champion has to retain at Mania, so this is one of the champions I have retaining. So there we go. I believe next, are we into the WWE title match now?
Yep.
Okay, I guess I'll take this over then. I'll take it over, but okay. The WWE title match. I mean, everybody knows what this match is going to be. I mean, it's Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. This feud has been so pushed as the top feud on SmackDown for how many months now? I mean, Kofi has had these opportunities handed to him, and he has had these opportunities taken away from him. So, but at the end of the day, we finally know that it will be Kofi Kingston going after the WWE Championship at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan, who is in a completely different role from what he was in 4, 5, 6 years ago as the underdog. Kofi's walks in as the underdog. Daniel Bryan's the favorite, and I am actually one of the people that is not exactly on the Kofi Kingston bandwagon, if you want to say that. I mean, I'm not a big Kofi Kingston fan. I like the New Day, I guess. I think that this was exactly what the New Day needed. I mean, they needed this Kofi Kingston push to come. I mean, of course, this push was really never originally supposed to happen if it wasn't for Mustafa Ali getting injured, or Ali, rather, getting injured. So this actually turned out to be a good blessing in disguise for Kofi. But this feud has been very, very good. I think the promo battles have been nice. I think everything about this feud has just been 100% perfect. I don't predict any swerves will happen during this match. I don't think that there will be a heel turn or a face turn among any in any aspect. I don't think there will be any returns, debuts, injuries, or nothing to happen. So, with all that being said, I'm going to pick Daniel Bryan to retain the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Now, I could be wrong here. I mean, of course I could be wrong. I could be wrong with all of these, but this is really what I feel. I just don't think that we're going to be able to have all these feel-good stories at Mania. I think that Daniel Bryan could possibly win the submission. I think that will be a perfect way to win, actually, to prove that Kofi Kingston is human and to actually have some sort of respect for Daniel Bryan afterwards. Not saying that Daniel's exactly going to turn face, but I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, I think that Daniel wins. I think that Kofi winning is obviously the safe pick and is obviously a way that WWE could really prove, hey, we're moving into a new era, but at the end of the day, it is WWE, and Kofi Kingston has never gotten this type of opportunity before, and why in the year 2019 all of a sudden will he win the WWE title? And do we really believe that he will win it? I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to happen. So, Daniel's my pick. That's all I have to really say.
Yeah, I would say that you hit the nail on the head, but I will start off my prediction talking about my pick. I am going to go with Kofi Kingston here, and I'll tell you why. I think that this has been I disagree with you. I think it's been a great feud. Now, I don't think you said it wasn't a great feud, but I think it has been, and it's been entertaining, and I just don't see this storyline, whether it's great or not, I just don't see it ending, with Bryan coming out as champion. I just think it's been built up so much, the storyline's been getting fans, just riled up, disappointed, and then happy now that he's in the match. Like, I just think it's been so back and forth. I just don't see it ending with him not winning. I think it'll be a huge, it'll be a huge Mania moment. And this will be, historic one for different reasons. And, I just, to have an underdog win like this, an underdog over Daniel Bryan, how about that?
Right, the irony.
Yeah, and I just see Kofi winning here after such, in my opinion, great built feud. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about it.
Okay, I mean, I guess you can go ahead. I believe it's at main event time.
Ding ding, it is main event time.
Alright, finally.
Yeah, we made it.
We made it.
This video has been a marathon. We apologize, but thank you if you're still with us. But we got the main event here. First women's main event. Of course I'm starting this one off. So, with it being the first women's main event, I was thinking as this feud was being built, like late last year, I was starting to think that this one, back then I was thinking that this one could be the one to main event. And I think that it should. I think it's the right time, and I think it's the right, women to do it. They've had a, honestly, great feud. This being the first women's main event, it hasn't been, it would be different if it was different people, I think. If it were different women, I think it would seem like, oh, they have to give this one to the women. They gotta do it. Yeah, but in this one, it feels right. It is the main event. I think it's the main attraction. And it's the one I think a lot of people are looking forward to the most. And I think that I am as well. Should be, once again, I'm not a huge fan of multi-person matches. I am very traditional one-on-one kind of guy, but I still think that this will be fast-paced. I think it'll be brutal, and I think it should be more than anything fun. And, I think it'll be great. But in this one, I'm going with Becky Lynch to win both the Raw and SmackDown championships. Like with my last pick, I don't see the feud ending any other way. I just don't. I think that it makes the most sense because I don't see Rousey just getting another title. I don't see Charlotte just taking the other title. I think the big moment would be having the most over person in the company, Becky Lynch, taking both titles. I just think that that would be a great way to cap off the night. You get the fireworks going. I just don't see it ending any other way. I know that was quick for a main event pick, but with some of these, I gotta be quick because it's obvious to me. But who do you have here, Kyle?
Yeah, and I think that you pretty much covered it all. I mean, I think that this feud has been 6 months in the making. I mean, we've seen Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. We saw what happened at TLC when Ronda cost them the SmackDown Women's Championship to Asuka. We've seen heel turns. We've seen face turns. We've seen championship opportunities taken away. People added to the match. We've seen Charlotte win a championship out of nowhere. We've seen pretty much all of it. We've seen brawls, promo battles, 6-women tag, multi-mat. We've seen everything. I mean, this feud has had everything, and it's kind of a shame that this feud has had everything, and we have such an obvious pick to win. I don't think that really many people – I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, Becky Lynch does win. I do agree with you there. But I'm going to add one more thing to it. I think that she wins via making Ronda Rousey tap out at WrestleMania. Now, this is shocking to many, but I do believe that Ronda Rousey will tap out to Becky Lynch. I think that this is the best way to do it. I mean, not only this is 6 months in the making. I mean, think of the battles that Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch had last year. I mean, just the battle at Evolution, the battle everywhere. I mean, they pretty much faced each other on every pay-per-view and were feuding on SmackDown Live over the Women's Championship for such a long time that we forget how many matches they had that were so good. And that why I was not upset that Charlotte Flair got added to this match. I think that helped this match. These are the 3 women to do it. I mean, these are the 3 very best in the business in completely different ways. And at the end of the day, I think Becky's the deserving one to walk out as champions, and to I don't even care what's going to happen afterwards. We're not worried about that right now. So, but I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing that it's obvious. I kind of got carried away saying that before. I just think that they should have did something more to make the other 2 seem more legitimately, capable of winning. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that we could still see Ronda do it, or we could still see Charlotte do it. I don't think that it's completely out of the question. I mean, anything can happen in WWE, but I think the way to do this is, to have Becky standing tall at the end of WrestleMania. I mean, it would just be perfect. Which is absolutely. So, is that it? Is that all for us? Anything to add? At all?
Not much. One thing I meant to say at the start, but I just kind of got into it because I didn't want us to go long, and, well, look at us. But I want to point out, this is... I don't mean to move on right from the main event and talk about something less, but, a lot of matches, a lot. But as of now, this is looking like the first WrestleMania without The Undertaker in, I think, this is the first time since Mania 10.
I believe he missed one at some point.
Well, maybe 2000?
Yeah, I think he might have missed 2000. But yeah, you are. I mean, I'll add to that actually right now. Yeah, didn't want to mention that we're not going to be having a John Cena or Undertaker appearance or match most likely. I mean, it's been rumored that we could possibly see John Cena compete in some sort of aspect. Same situation with the Undertaker, but yeah, at this moment, and I think that we're finally at a point that we don't need either one.
Yeah.
I think that we have so much talent going on at this Mania that it looks really good without them. So, but you are correct.
Yeah, I mean, either way, been a long time. And, but either way, let's just kind of wrap it up here. I mean, this should be decent show. You had mentioned before we started that, it's a great card, but it's just a big card, which
Right.
is, it'll drag on. Like, that's what, at least what I'm expecting, but we'll get through it.
Yeah. Everybody, please. I mean, it starts at 5 o'clock. You do not have to watch at 5. I mean, if you just have it on casually while you get set up for it, that is fine. I mean, believe me, the pre-show is 2 hours long. It's going to be a marathon. I mean, it's going to be 5 o'clock in the afternoon to, I mean, some reports are saying midnight, 12:30, maybe even later. So
Yeah.
we will see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the people in MetLife, but now it should be fantastic. I mean, it's going to be long, but it should be, at the end of the day, strong. A strong WrestleMania event that I think that we will actually remember. I mean, we remembered the past couple, but I mean, I think this could be actually, if all the results go our way, if we do see the trio, I'm calling it the big three of Kofi Kingston, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch, all win championships at WrestleMania. I think that would really be cool. I just don't see all three of them winning.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So, yeah, I don't think we really have much more to say. I guess I'll just go ahead and wrap it up here. I mean, we have NXT TakeOver Friday night, the Hall of Fame Saturday night, and WrestleMania Sunday night. So, a good weekend of wrestling. Joe, you can actually end it. That's all I have to say.
Hashtag wrestling. All right. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. Sure, subscribe, like, do whatever you gotta do. And Jesus, thanks for making it this far.
Hashtag disrespect to Elias.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up too, but I just wanted to wrap this one up. Sorry, Elias. You'll put on a good show. Alright, that's gonna do it for us, guys. Like I said, subscribe, like, do whatever. And we'll see you hopefully soon for another prediction video, next pay-per-view, whenever that is. So until then, for Kyle and Joe, that's me. We will see you soon.